Stugatz here for 1-800-Flowers. If you've ever stumbled through a social media site around Valentine's, you know women love to show off what their boyfriend or husband surprised them with. So this year, be the one who wins Valentine's with 1-800-Flowers.com. Right now, when you order early, you can get 18 pink and red enchanted roses for only $29.99. Valentine's Day is almost here, so don't put this off. Get 18 pink and red enchanted roses for only $29.99 from 1-800-Flowers. This gorgeous bouquet of radiant pink and red roses is the perfect Valentine's surprise she's guaranteed to love. Roses from 1-800-Flowers are picked at their peak and shipped overnight to ensure freshness. 18 pink and red enchanted roses for only $29.99 is a great reward for ordering early. This Valentine's, don't settle for anything less than 1-800-Flowers.com. To order 18 red and pink enchanted roses for just $29.99, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, enter code Dan. Again, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, enter code Dan. Order today and save at 1-800-Flowers.com, code Dan.
I'm a robot vacuum cleaner, so yeah, I got one gig. I suck up dirt, so pardon my inferiority complex about Geico, who does so much more. Like, not only could they save their customers money on car insurance, but they got fast and friendly claim service too, and an award-winning mobile app. Plus access to licensed agents 24/7. Who am I kidding? I can't even do corners. Uh-oh, choking hazard.
Popcorn kernels.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
This is the Dan Levatar Show with the Stugatz Podcast.
Stugatz, you know how I feel and have felt for a long time about coaches and coach worship in this country. The idea that these leaders are appreciably smarter than the next guy, that Doug Peterson is the smartest guy now.
Right.
You know how I object to us giving so much credit to the men on the sidelines, because the men between the sidelines could not win if not for their wisdoms and disciplines. But what is happening right now with the Patriots is interesting. And as much as I don't like or even care, I don't think that Josh McDaniels is going to make a difference that's appreciable anywhere he goes. So he was going to go to the Colts. All of these people who have stood next to Belichick, all of them have gone on and done what?
Nothing.
Who's the most successful of them? I don't think I'd say nothing, but who's the most successful of them? The person who has left Belichick and Brady's side and ended up in a place where you're like, and that person, Saban wasn't Belichick and Brady.
No.
Wasn't Belichick, but it's a lot of Charlie Weiss's and Romeo Crennel's and that guy, and now it's Matt Patricia's the smartest guy, and Josh McDaniels, who was smart and then not smart, and he's smart again.
It was, right. That's a great point. It was McDaniels at one point. He left and then came back because he didn't have success in Denver.
McDaniels was a laughingstock, had no success anywhere else, went back to New England, rehabbed his image.
In the pros, not so much. Ferentz and Saban are from that Belichick tree. They were on that 94 Browns staff. But in the pros, you'll see Romeo Crennel's, Eric Mangini's.
Right. One of the many objections that I have to the way that the NFL does its hirings is the idea of all of this money, all of this big business, and the way that you're still hiring people is, hey, who's standing next to Belichick and Brady? They're the next guy. And it reeks of, I don't know whether it's either laziness or stupidity.
To your point, the only coach in the pros that has an above 500 record that was a part of that Belichick tree is Al Groh. He was 9-7.
Okay, there you go. So the big success is Al Groh. There you go. They're 9-7 Al Groh. But what I'm saying is the idea that travels, the idea that whatever the Patriots have travels, has proven again and again to not be so.
Right.
And now McDaniels, the Colts wanted him as if he were something special to lead their men and bring some of that Patriots way over here.
Right.
And the Patriots stepped in, and somewhere in a meeting with the Krafts, and I was surprised by this, Stugatz. Did you see that Jonathan Kraft flatly told the NFL Network that Tom Brady will retire as he wishes?
Yes, I did.
I couldn't believe they put their name on that.
Why?
Stugatz, when does anybody do that?
They don't, but certainly this guy's deserving of that.
I know, but Dan Marino didn't get that ending, and
no,
he means to Miami what Tom Brady means to New England, and nobody gets that ending. Nobody gets it. Hell, Jason Taylor didn't get that because it's a cold, cold business. Who the hell else? When you say, why are you surprised by that, Dan? Give me all the other examples in the history of sports where an organization announced, hey, This guy, while still playing and saying he wants to play for 10 years, gets to retire however the hell he wants.
I guess I got the feeling, they never said it, but I got the feeling Jeter could have played shortstop for the Yankees for as long as he wanted to play. Michael Jordan, if he asked for it, he didn't. I'm certain the Bulls would have came out and said Michael Jordan can play for as long as he wants to play here.
No, you're wrong. Michael Jordan broke up with management and ended up a Wizard because he left because he was fighting with management. He was not allowed to retire the way that he wanted to.
I understand that. I'm saying if he wanted to retire that way, if he wanted to be a Bull for as long as he wanted to be a Bull, I'm certain ownership would have came out and said Michael Jordan can play here for as long as he wants to play here.
Man, Stugotz, they had that chance. Whatever. Like, they had the chance with Jordan.
Listen, your larger point is right. No one has ever come out and said it.
So the Patriots end up in this place where they're saying Brady's our guy. And now, Mike, was Belichick in on that meeting? Was Belichick in on the meeting where McDaniels has agreed to terms with the Colts? The Colts have hired all the assistants McDaniels wanted. And did you see that Irsay says he's keeping all of the assistants? So now he doesn't have a head coach because McDaniels is returning to the Patriots. McDaniels, after talking to the Krafts and I guess Belichick, has been promised a succession plan that I guess would make McDaniels the next head coach. It's the only thing that I can possibly surmise by what happened yesterday, which is they promised McDaniels in this meeting that Belichick isn't going to be doing this that much longer there and that he's the successor.
I think there's a few things. I think he has 4 kids, McDaniels. It's hard uprooting your family. It's made even more difficult when you don't know if the quarterback's healthy. You don't know if that team is really good. You're going to Indianapolis. You're a Northeast guy. I think all that factored in. And then, yes, there had to be, I don't care what's being reported, there had to be some sort of conversation that, hey, Josh, when Bill steps down, you're the next head coach. There had to be.
Mike Reese said sources close to the situation says clarity on Bill Belichick's status in New England, even though he's locked and loaded to coach the Patriots next year, helped sway McDaniels to stay. But I'm with Stugotz. There has to be some sort of succession plan because McDaniels just tarnished a name he spent nearly a decade trying to rebuild.
What he just did to the Colts, Belichick would recognize it because Belichick did it to the Jets.
Yes, he did.
What he just did to the Colts, like he just threw that organization into a lurch, man. Irsay's sitting here saying, I've hired all these assistants. Now you got to hire a coach who doesn't know these assistants? Like you just threw a grenade in their organization.
Right. I mean, Irsay has to be embarrassed. You never know because his face is always red, but he has to be embarrassed.
Yeah. I was looking for that joke. Damn it, you're better at that than I am. I had pills in one compartment. I had cash in the back seat. I was looking for the joke.
I've been sitting on that since last
fast.
night. Yeah.
You're fast, man. And you did it better. It was well shaped.
Thank you.
Red face.
Yep.
How would you know if Jim Irsay was ashamed?
You wouldn't.
His face is always red. Same with Mike Shanahan.
What are the tells are there for embarrassment?
Right. How would you ever know that Mike Shanahan is embarrassed? That lobster coating on his face reveals nothing.
He would actually have to come out and tell you that he's embarrassed.
That's right.
Yes. Oh, that's embarrassing.
I think it was Schefter that tweeted out last night that among sources in the league, chatter is Kraft loves sticking it to that organization ever since Deflategate.
Oh, that's a good one, too. That's another good one. So, man, Kraft is a gangster. He's a cheese gangster. Like, this guy swoops in, and he's like, look, I don't care about that Patricia guy and his beard and his fake pencil and his laminated playbook. We can let him go. Did you see what happened in the Super Bowl? But this offense, what would the rich guy refer to his son as? Boy? Like, what would the rich gangster, what is the phrase that the rich gangster would use to refer to his son? Because you can picture this meeting, right? McDaniels has accepted this job with the Colts. They call up Belichick and they wake up, Bill's in a cave somewhere studying film at 4:30 in the morning. So he wanders out in a sweatshirt. They're like, Bill, get your butt down here. We got to talk McDaniels out of leaving. He's been neutered. He doesn't have any control over anything anymore. Garoppolo was traded on his watch. He's just sort of shuffling out to wherever the Krafts are. They chose Brady. They said on television, Brady retires however he wants to. Eat that, Belichick. Like, Belichick trades everyone early. The Krafts are on television saying Brady retires how he wants. Eat some of that.
Not this guy.
Right. And they wake him from his film, and they go talk to McDaniels, and Kraft is saying to him and his boy, yeah, you're not leaving. You're not leaving. Soon you'll replace Bill, whether Bill wants it or not. We've lost respect for Bill around here.
It is fascinating what's going on because some of the stuff Brady would never have done before he is now doing. Like he commented on, what was the cornerback's name who didn't play? I'm sorry. Was it Malcolm
Butler?
He commented on that. He's doing the Facebook thing. Like these are all things. It is pretty clear that Belichick, whatever tug of war is going on between Belichick and Brady, it appears Belichick has lost.
Yeah, it's over.
Yes.
It is over. Yes, and I believe that was part of what's happening yesterday.
Yeah, like Tom Brady's just going to do what he wants to do.
Man, the Crafts chose Brady over Belichick. They made the choice. They made the choice of emotions over football. Emotions. This is what Brady means to me. He's like a son to me. Belichick, you're not getting in the way of that. And whatever happens to their relationship after that is going to bear monitoring. Because Belichick can't like that. No. Here's the funny thing about Belichick. Belichick would like nothing more than to be just a football coach. Just let me be a football coach. But this is them saying, you're only going to be a football coach. And he's like, wait. He's got to be like, wait a minute. It is what I wanted it, but I want it on my terms where I get to pick the players and you're not telling me who my quarterback has to be.
Right. I want to trade Tom for a first-round pick and go with Garoppolo moving forward. I should be able to do that.
You've got the owners, it would appear, interfering with football operations when Garoppolo is traded.
If we're following this theory, then Belichick still has power over the roster, just not one position.
Correct?
Yes.
Correct. But this is what I'm saying. Belichick wants to just be a football coach. So here, Bill, just be a football coach. Wait a minute. There's a guy I don't have power over. You've demoted me. You have demoted me. You have made Tom Brady he's higher than me on the hierarchy of what the power structure is in this organization.
Brady's the boss.
Brady's the boss, man.
Dan Le Batard.
Belichick! Liar!
Stugats.
Tom Brady's lying. Belichick's lying. Liar!
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio.
A couple of corrections from the last segment. I got things wrong. One of the things I got wrong, Tom Brady is not the boss, Giselle is.
Oh, yeah.
Secondarily, something that I got wrong is that I called Bob Kraft the gangster of cheese. This made Guillermo...
You called him a cheese gangster.
Cheese gangster. Gangster of cheese. This made Guillermo start looking up the expression on the internet to find out if he... you explain yourself, Guillermo.
Well, Dan, you're like 30 years older than me, but you're really younger than me. So you said cheese gangster, and I'm like, is that a thing? I was completely thrown off. I was thrown off. So I started looking up cheese gangster, and nothing comes back. And the only other time that's happened to me is when Greg Cody kept saying dancing swords in his stomach over and over and over again. And I looked everywhere for that, and it turns out he just made that up.
That's right. He had an upset stomach. He called it dancing swords in his stomach, so you looked it up. I called Bob Kraft a cheese gangster, and many of you have pointed out via the internet, via text, hostily, explaining to me what an idiot I am because I thought that Bob Kraft was of the Kraft Cheese Company. And
easy mistake to make.
Wait a minute. I don't know if it's an easy mistake to make or not, but I want to salute all of you texters because you got me. You got me. I did think Bob Kraft ran the Kraft cheese empire. So I'm wrong. And I'm sorry. Put it up at Le Batard Show, Guillermo, please. Did you think Bob Kraft had a cheese empire?
Do you think that's a cheese gangster?
Yes, cheese gangster.
No, but I want to see if other people were making the same mistake that I was making.
I've thought that forever, that it was Kraft cheese.
You know what? I've been correct. You know what's funny about this? Here's what's funny about this. This is the worst part of it. I've been corrected about that about 6 or 7 times in the last 10 years, and I keep doing it. I keep making him the guy who manufactures cheese. I'm stubborn about it for no reason. Like, I can't clean that part of my head that has that wrong information.
It's weird. It's such a natural fit.
It's just a hitch. So anyway, Bob Kraft, I want you guys to imagine all of this. Josh McDaniels is pulled out of the Colts job, and really it's crazy what happened here. And so what I want to ask you, because McDaniels is now going back to the Patriots after a meeting with both Krafts and Belichick. Now, this is a notoriously private organization, Stu Gatz. We will not get the right reporting on what the future was that was discussed because of this reason, among many others, Stu Gatz. They can't agree to give him that job without violating the Rooney Rule. Like, you can't agree to a succession plan. I don't think.
Right.
You can't privately, publicly agree to a succession plan without going through a round of interviews. I don't think you can do that without violating the Rooney Rule. Now, I'm guessing there. I don't know that to be so, but that would seem to be something. You can't just decide who the next guy is in a meeting today.
I think you're 100% right on that. And I think that's why they're saying there's a very strong possibility that when Bill Belichick steps down, that's the reports right now. It's not Josh McDaniels will be the next head coach. There's a strong possibility he'll be strongly considered to be the next head coach.
When I heard this news, my instantaneous reaction is Belichick's not going to be there that much longer, and McDaniels is going to replace him. And whether it's a year or 2 years or wherever this becomes untenable, that was my immediate reaction without reporting anything,
right,
and without reading anything the reporters had reported.
McDaniels, I mean, if you really believe that, if you think Belichick's going to be gone in a couple of years and you think McDaniels is going to take over, he's choosing Tom Brady, who at that point will be 43 years old, over Andrew Luck. I think about that.
Mm-hmm. And an organization that he likes to work with and people he knows. I mean, Irsay's a little bit of a wild card.
Yeah.
An owner that he trusts, clearly, because the owner just talked him down. To me, though, we're burying the lead, right? I don't care who the next head coach of the Patriots is. I care that they're talking about a next head coach of the Patriots.
Right.
Like Josh McDaniels, or I don't care what Josh McDaniels does with the rest of his career. He could go wander off and it doesn't matter. What did they tell him about the future of the other guy? Mike, he was in the room?
Yeah, I've seen it reported that he was in the stadium. And McDaniels met with the Crafts and was provided clarity on Belichick's situation.
But you're saying Belichick was also in that?
I read that. Let me find the reporter.
Okay, because I imagine if that's right and Belichick's there, he's reaffirming to Josh, hey, so you can hear it from me. Stay here. Couple of years, it's yours.
Correct.
Yes.
Having done this already with Jets and Patriots and resigned from the Jets on a napkin, right, Bill Belichick could protect, if he cares about Josh McDaniels, who did a very good job for him.
No doubt.
If he cares about him, he would give him the honesty about where everything in the relationship is and where everything's headed. And the fact that Josh McDaniels turned down what you just said, Stugotz, Andrew Luck and his own gig for the promise of some tomorrow with a 42 or 43-year-old Tom Brady suggests to me that he had to have been guaranteed something in that room.
Correct.
Not offered some sort of vision. He had to be told, hey, trust us on this as family members, as people who have worked with you, people who made you. The Crafts just showed you how they care about Tom Brady's family. Trust us on this.
Yes, privately, I think that's what went on, and publicly they have to say whatever it is that they're saying. Yep.
NFL.com reporter Tom Pelissero wrote and said on Good Morning Football and then took to Twitter, Josh McDaniels went to Gillette Stadium yesterday to clean out his office, ended up meeting for hours with Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft, and Jonathan Kraft. They laid out how they feel about him, the process going forward. This was about the Patriots, not about the Colts.
It's so funny this is happening because I just watched that 30 for 30. It's exactly what Parcells set up for Belichick. Now, Belichick ended up not wanting it because he didn't want to be the guy that replaces the guy and ended up going to New England. But it's the same exact scenario that Parcells set up for Belichick with the New York Jets.
Don Le Batard.
I'm going to eat my wings with blue cheese, and a lot of it, and I'm going to come in here with blue cheese on my face and a couple of napkins. And too bad. Stop complaining about it.
Stugotz.
No one told you can't eat wings. You decided that on your own. That's a you choice, not a me choice. It was a me choice, an us choice. We'd be eating wings every day. We'd both have we'd be slathered in blue cheese, both you and I.
We'd be slathering it on each other.
Yes, that's my dream.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
All right, Roy just came in here. Roy, I am reading a Tony Dungy quote here. Where is this quote from? Who is Tony Dungy saying this to? Is this on Twitter? What's happening here?
It's in response to an MMQB article.
All right, so here Tony Dungy is saying, haven't read the article, but I can tell you, there is no excuse big enough to justify this. It's one thing to go back on your word to an organization, but having assistant coaches leave jobs to go with you, then leave them out to dry is indefensible. For comfort, exclamation point. This is Tony Dungy as we've never seen him.
Yeah.
This is Tony Dungy unhinged. I remind you, Tony Dungy at one point felt like he could carry a business card that said peace ambassador to all of your ills. They sent him to jail to talk to Michael Vick. He was the voice. Tony Dungy is the thing in the NFL reputed to have the most integrity.
Correct. Yes. Without question, I think.
And now Tony Dungy is insane with anger. Now, Tony Dungy was a former Colts coach, so I imagine he doesn't like that so much.
No, and he happens to be right about the assistant coaches. That's the only part I'll agree with him on. Like Josh McDaniels he didn't sign a contract. He is entitled to stay with the Patriots if he's more comfortable there, if his family's more comfortable, if things have changed. But I do agree on the assistant coaches. I agree on that.
Well, there is no disputing that what Josh McDaniels did here and what the Patriots did here is wildly unprofessional. We can agree on that, right?
Yes.
That part, we can agree on that, right? Once you force the Colts into a position where they've already hired your assistants and made a staff for your coach, and then your coach changes his mind and you're stuck with those assistants now because for some reason Irsay is choosing to be stuck with those assistants.
Yeah.
He's not voiding all of those contracts. That's
a good job by Irsay, I got to be honest, yeah.
He's being a good professional, unlike Josh McDaniels. He's honoring a commitment to them, even though those were Josh McDaniels' assistants.
I mean, maybe he says to himself, hey, this is the coach I wanted. These were the guys he was going to surround himself with. They're probably pretty good coaches.
Okay, all right, but can I ask you this? I mean, I'm not even sure Irsay's doing the right thing here. You guys are making it some sort of nobility. I think once McDaniels yanked.
I didn't say the right thing. He's doing a nice thing.
Okay, but the nice thing.
It's noble.
Okay, the nice, noble thing happens to be the wrong thing here.
Probably, yeah.
It's right by those assistants, but his job is to that organization, and he should send everyone packing and send them all to hell with Art Briles.
But it's probably punitive for him. These are contracts that are signed. If he bails on them, he's going to owe them money.
Actually, I'm starting to sour on this McDaniels guy. What he should have done is say, hey, you know what? I got a bunch of assistants who have moved to Indianapolis. They think they're living there for the next few years. Hey, Bob, you want me to stay? Jonathan, want me to stay? Bill, want me to stay? Bring all those assistants up here. That's what he should have done. He had the leverage. He should have asked for it.
He should have leveraged Belichick and his present assistants?
Just, guys, I'm in too deep. I have assistants that we've hired. They moved to Indianapolis for me.
Who the hell do you think Josh McDaniels is?
He's a guy that Bill Belichick wanted so badly, and the Kraft wanted so badly, they kept him from going to Indianapolis. He had the leverage.
Stugatz, wait a minute.
Give him jobs.
I will again. What am I missing? Can someone help me here? What am I missing when I look at Stugatz? And his reaction is not only to do a 180 on what he thought at the beginning of the segment, okay, because he totally changed his mind on that. Character. I'm starting to sour at Josh McDaniels, started 3 minutes after he was celebrating everything Josh McDaniels had done. So I'm starting to sour on Josh McDaniels happen. And now what you are suggesting, and I want you to go through this as someone who never measures bleeping consequences, not to an opinion he's had or not to the behavior that these people would be exhibiting.
Right. Thank you.
You want Josh McDaniels to go back there and use his leverage over whom? The Krafts and Belichick and the Patriots. What you're calling his leverage over them to force him to hire all those assistants, which means Belichick firing pieces of his staff and means Belichick firing some people who might have been his coworkers and friends the last couple of years.
Belichick's staff is left for the most part. I mean, I'm just saying in that situation, he is lucky Jim Irsay did right. I'm not saying it's the right thing. He did right by those assistants. Otherwise, I mean, how do you explain that one away? And yes, what I'm saying is Josh McDaniels should have said, hey, Bill, I've got all these people moving their lives for me. So if you want me to stay, I got to do something for them. Get them up here because eventually they're going to be my staff anyway.
I know, but Stugatz, are you now firing your present coworkers? Do you realize
I'm just adding more positions?
No, that's what you're doing?
Yeah, why not?
Wait a minute. Aren't there limits on that in the NFL?
Find a position for a guy
there
in the
it is.
organization.
Stugatz again. There he is. There he is. What are the rules? Don't care about the rules. I'll make my own rules. I'll just bluster and BS. Like what you're saying makes no sense. Am I wrong about this? Am I wrong about this?
I'm telling you, no, you are wrong about this. I am right. I mean, go ahead, put it on the poll in some form, however you want.
So you want the Patriots to have a coaching staff of 40 people or 70 people?
I want Josh McDaniels to do the right thing by people. That's what I want him to do. And now I question this guy's integrity.
Josh McDaniels did the right thing by Josh McDaniels. That's what he did.
Yeah.
Jim Irsay then, for some reason, did the right thing by Josh McDaniels' friend.
That's what I'm saying. Well, yes. And by Josh McDaniels. Like, he bailed McDaniels out of a bad situation. He did.
I guess he did the right thing by Josh McDaniels, but now you've got Tony Dungy incensed.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Andrew Luck. Yeah. No one wants to coach this guy.
Nobody.
He wanted to say with a 41-year-old quarterback instead of Andrew Luck.
No, by the time he gets Brady, he'll be like 44.
Guys, we're all, look, you guys are all missing what the news is here, okay?
What is it?
I'm a newsman. I'm a journalist, okay? And so the news here is not, oh, Belichick's losing power in the Patriots organization. The news here isn't that Bob Kraft and Jonathan Kraft at every turn are neutering Belichick or are keeping Josh McDaniels, and this means the end to the Bill Belichick reign in New England. The news here is, and I will say it again because I don't believe you guys have heard me, Tony Dungy is enraged.
All I want to do is a zoom, 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 and a boom, boom.
He's responding with with multiple punctuations. There's a couple exclamation points. There's a couple of question marks.
We have an unhinged Tony Dungy on Twitter. We have not seen this in these parts in about 7 or 8 years.
Does this mean Pagano comes back?
Oh! Game changer!
Don Le Batard.
You're a record-setting liar.
Stugats.
We need to get Guinness up here to measure who's I mean, he's not the best liar. He's the worst liar. But in terms of volume of lies, he's kind of Hank Aaron.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio.
One play at a time, win your battles no matter what. Just win your box, no judgment. It's our process, 60 minutes, one play at a time, all you got, and just keep throwing haymakers.
What makes you think this team will stick together, Chuck?
What makes you think they won't?
Well, you've been beaten by 7 points the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, they'll stick together, trust me. Until they mathematically say you're done, we're fighting. We'll take it one day at a time, we'll take it 1 week at a time. You start looking ahead and all that, you can't. You can't do it. You got to take it 1 week at a time. You got to claw your way back, dig yourself out. They can't eat you. Remember, I told you that they can't, Mike. They can't eat you. They can fire you, but they can't eat you. It speaks to the character of this football team and their ability to block out the noise, keep the blinders on, keep the earmuffs on, stick to the grindstone, keep chopping, keep working, keep preparing, keep playing.
Guests on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Get in touch with the show anytime to the 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed at Le Batard Show at Stugat790. This year, be the one who wins Valentine's with 1-800-Flowers.com. Right now, you can order 18 pink and red enchanted roses for only $29.99. To order, it's simple. Do it today, guys. Go to 1-800-Flowers.com/ESPN.
Among the rumored candidates for the Colts now that Josh McDaniels has gone back to the Patriots, Frank Reich.
Hi, Frank.
We're going to miss Chuck Pagano a great deal around here. He is the sayer of nothing.
It's good to see you, buddy.
He just is, was really a source of a lot of content for us while he was in charge of the Colts.
We're going with Frank and Mac. Frank and Mac attack. You guys like it? I like it. I just made it up. Frank and Mac. Not Cheese and Mac. We're going Frank and Mac.
Wonder how that guy's not the head coach anymore.
All right, but I do want to talk about this for a second. I want to talk about two things here. A, is there a Rob Gronkowski 911 call that we can get a hold of? Did Rob Gronkowski make that call himself? Can we find that sound? Does that sound exist somewhere of Rob Gronkowski calling 911 because his house has been burglarized? And I want to ask this question as well. Right now, as Josh McDaniels goes back to the Patriots, who's sniffing around the Colts? Who's sniffing around the Colts?
I got Jim Harbaugh. Sniff, sniff.
I got Jeff Fisher.
Whoa!
You got a coaching staff that's already in place. There were reports that Jeff Fisher was telling everyone, he was mingling at the Super Bowl, telling everyone, I got a staff in place. So Jeff Fisher's available. Chris was saying Peyton Manning. How about Peyton Manning? Who are you going to get to take a job where all the assistants are already hired?
I think I got it. I think I got it. Tony Dungy.
That is a good one.
Tony, because here's what happened.
That
you know
is
what?
a good one.
He loves Jim. We make fun of Jim Irsay, but he loves Jim Irsay and the Irsay family, and they're embarrassed right now. And Tony Dungy says, you know what? If Josh McDaniels is going to do this and embarrass the organization, you need to hire someone bigger than Josh McDaniels, and I'm the guy. I like a Dungy-Peyton Manning combination. How about that?
Okay, before we go, your how about that is one of the best things about you. When you feel like you made a good point, and we're looking at you right now. You were in your chair. Yeah. You threw Peyton Manning out there. You gave him a Tony Dungy job. You were like ZipRecruiter there.
Yeah.
You were just like, here, this is what you do. Bidding, 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 bada bang. Boom. And then you're pleased with yourself, and then you just tell the audience and me, how about that?
Yeah. Well, that's me announcing. I'm just going to sit back now and let you guys discuss what it is I just threw out there.
Discuss my brilliance. You guys want to discuss my genius here?
Now you have Dungy because Manning doesn't have any experience. They're associate head coaches together.
This is why I love your genius. A few years ago, you threw that wonderful Jim Harbaugh to the Colts out there. Yeah. And a few years ago, before people understood what you are and what your character is and that you're the court jester, what happened, Guillermo, when the last time Stugatz started sniffing around the Colts job and just announced that Jim Harbaugh was going there?
September 24th, 2015. ESPN radio host calls it Harbaugh to coach Colts. This was published in the Detroit Free Press and then republished in the Indy Star. Quote, I pride myself on seeing things before others see it. And I'm telling you right now, he is going to break Michigan's heart, Stugatz said. I'm telling you, Chuck Pagano is out at Indianapolis. There's no way Harbaugh is going to pass up the chance to A, get back in the NFL, and B, coach Andrew Luck in the NFL.
I mean, all of that is still in play.
Yep.
All of it is in play. In fact, the first domino is toppled, which is Pagano's out, as Stugatz reported back in 2015.
Nailed it.
He also said Jim Harbaugh next season will be the Colts head coach, but
let's leave that part out. Let's just concentrate on the parts that he got right.
I mean,
we got to talk to Windhorst next here, Stugatz, because did you see what happened to the Cavs last night?
It's insane, man.
I mean, they were up. They're at Orlando. They're a big favorite. They're up by 20-plus points, and then they get slaughtered.
Yep.
They get slaughtered by the Magic, the Orlando Magic.
By Jonathan Simmons.
And they score like 9 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, LeBron James is just trying to get that Brooklyn pick traded so that they get him somebody at the trade deadline. Like, what the hell was that last night?